Over the past 3 years, anti-European Union sentiment has been rapidly growing in Germany, a trend visible with the rise of a party advocating for the country's departure from the organization. This party, Alternative for Germany, promotes positions such as Euroscepticism and German nationalism, raising a previously unthinkable question: the possibility of Germany leaving the European Union. Today, Germany is the largest economy in the bloc, with a GDP of $4 trillion and a population of 84 million, as well as being its largest financial contributor. Consequently, the shift in opinion among a segment of the German population creates significant uncertainty about the future of the European Union, especially amid post-pandemic economic recovery struggles and Europe's inability to compete with the United States and China. These factors, coupled with the rising cost of living in Germany and the ongoing migration crisis in Europe, have strengthened a more conservative and radical political movement, led by the AfD. This party views European integration as an economic burden and a threat to national sovereignty. In this video, we will explore why Germany is considering leaving the European Union and how the rise of the AfD could facilitate this process. First, it is important to note that the possibility of Germany leaving the European Union, referred to as Dexit, is not straightforward as it heavily depends on public opinion to become a reality. Also, the German and European economies are highly interdependent. Then, to understand Germany's issues with the European Union, it is crucial to analyze the country's economic and political relationship with the bloc, which directly coincides with the rise of Germany's economy in the second half of the 20th century. In this context, we must go back to the late 1940s and early 1950s, when Germany was undergoing the reconstruction process after World War II. At that time, the country faced an economic and monetary restructuring, with the replacement of the Reichsmark by the Deutsche Mark in 1948, which drastically reduced inflation and reorganized the economy of West Germany. This measure, combined with economic reforms and support from the Marshall Plan, led to the appreciation of the Deutsche Mark and stimulated commercial and industrial recovery. With this in mind, it is essential to point out that Germany's reconstruction was decisive for the reconciliation between European powers, as the country's industrial revival helped stabilize the European economy, fostered economic cooperation, and reduced tensions among formerly hostile nations. Germany also contributed significantly to innovation and modernization in advanced manufacturing industries across the continent. Furthermore, the economic integration promoted by market liberalism among nations served as a catalyst for political and diplomatic alignment. On this basis, the reconstruction of cities and industries created a demand for mineral resources, including coal, iron, and oil. This mobilized industrial powers to work together, with France, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and West Germany, the countries with the largest industrial sectors. In 1951, these nations founded the European Coal and Steel Community, the ECSC, to facilitate the circulation of these commodities through a common market. This market was characterized by shared policies and regulations, price setting for products, industrial financing, and the elimination of tariffs, forming a customs union for coal and steel. However, although the ECSC was an important step in laying the foundation for the European single market, the economic and trade demands of the time highlighted the need for a more comprehensive cooperation structure as the European economy diversified. As such, the European Economic Community, the EEC, was founded in 1957, creating a common market for goods, services, capital, and labor. By the early 1990s, the EEC had expanded to include 6 new members: the United Kingdom, Ireland, Denmark, Greece, Portugal, and Spain. These additions increased the organization's credibility and prominence, ultimately leading to its evolution into not just an economic union, but also a political and institutional one, especially after the formation of the European Union in 1993 and the introduction of the euro in 1999 to facilitate trade, enhance economic stability, and strengthen Europe's global position. Moreover, when we examine the evolution of the European Union over the past 70 years, it is impossible not to highlight Germany's central role in the bloc's stability and financial support of the Eurozone. As one of Europe's strongest economies, Germany played a key role in establishing strict criteria for adopting the euro. With the Deutsche Mark, one of the most stable and respected currencies in the world, Germany gave the euro unprecedented global credibility. The idea of abandoning the Deutsche Mark was heavily criticized by the German population in the 1990s, as many feared losing a symbol of national prosperity in exchange for shared monetary stability. Not surprisingly, Germany became the cornerstone of the EU's fiscal and monetary policy, a fact evident in the Maastricht Treaty of 1992, which established the European Union and laid the groundwork for the bloc's common currency. At that time, Germany was one of the strongest advocates for strict rules for euro adoption, including a public deficit below 3% of GDP, controlled inflation, and significant exchange rate stability. These convergence criteria became a hallmark of the economic and monetary union. Thus, as Germany has been closely involved with the development of the European Union since the bloc's formation, it is now the largest economy in the organization and its primary strategic asset, with German industry serving as the engine of European growth for decades and accounting for approximately 25% of the bloc's GDP. This raises the question, why does Germany want to leave the European Union? One of the key points to consider is the criticism directed at countries like Greece, which has posed a significant challenge to the fiscal responsibility policies advocated by Germany within the European Union, particularly in the Eurozone. Since the global financial crisis of 2008, Greece has faced severe economic difficulties, relying on international funds such as the European Financial Stability Facility and the IMF to avoid bankruptcy. During the sovereign debt crisis between 2010 and 2015, Greece endured harsh austerity measures, and it was revealed that the country had manipulated fiscal statistics in the early 2000s to conceal deficits that exceeded the bloc's fiscal rules. Between 2000 and 2023, Greece exceeded the 60% debt to GDP ratio limit 24 times and surpassed the 3% budget deficit threshold on 18 occasions. This sparked criticism within the European Union about Greece's ability to implement reforms and meet financial obligations. As the bloc's largest economy and a strong advocate of fiscal discipline, Germany provided billions of euros in loans during the bailouts, frequently criticizing the low economic returns. Additionally, Greece is one of the main entry points for immigrants and refugees from the Middle East and Africa, adding a layer of political and economic tension to its relationship with other European Union countries, including Germany. In recent years, the EU's asylum policy has allowed a large number of refugees into the continent, especially since the 2015 migration crisis, when more than 1 million individuals entered Europe, with about 476,000 applying for asylum in Germany. A similar scenario occurred during Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, which led to the exodus of millions of Ukrainians across Europe. Since the start of the conflict, Germany has become one of the primary destinations for Ukrainian refugees, alongside Poland and other neighboring countries. This migration issue has sparked significant debate across the continent, particularly in Germany, where many citizens question the social, cultural, and economic integration capacity for refugees. Former Chancellor Angela Merkel's open-door policy, especially since 2015, has been widely criticized by right-wing parties like the AfD, which associate migration with security and crime problems. This has fueled political and social tensions, driving anti-immigration rhetoric and increasing polarization in German public debate. Considering the issues analyzed so far, these German problems with the European Union have fostered growing skepticism among the German population, which has now entered the political debate, especially within the right-wing Alternative for Germany party. The AfD advocates an extremely radical approach to Germany's challenges, arguing that the country should leave the European Union and the euro, replacing them with an association of states that would include a common market and an economic and interest community. This issue has sparked an internal debate in Germany following the elections on February 23, 2025, as the results confirmed the projections of the best post-World War II electoral result for a party to the right of the Christian Democrats, CDU. As the AfD secured 20.8% of the vote, doubling the result achieved in 2021 and solidifying its position as the second largest party and significantly increasing its parliamentary representation with 152 seats of 630 total seats in the Bundestag. The CDU-CSU, led by Friedrich Merz, won the election with 28.6% of the vote, while the SPD suffered a historic defeat, managing only 16.4%. In practice, this means stronger opposition in the German parliament against the European Union and the bloc's migration policy, as the AfD has highlighted issues affecting Germany's sovereignty, including the economic support of countries like Greece and political vulnerability to laws decided in Brussels. As the country faces its biggest energy crisis of the 21st century, the AfD points to environmental measures such as the European Green Deal and the elimination of fossil fuels as harmful to German industry, especially after the start of the Ukraine war and the sharp reduction in Russian gas imports. This, in turn, has impacted the industrial sector, leading to efficiency crises and layoffs, causing Germany's GDP to contract in 2023 and 2024, an unprecedented event in the past 2 decades. Nonetheless, even if the AfD's political actions, similar to the UK's Brexit, gain momentum in Parliament, Germany's exit from the European Union would still depend on a popular referendum. This seems unlikely at the moment, as a recent survey by the Konrad Adenauer Foundation showed that 87% of Germans would vote to remain in the bloc in a referendum. Nevertheless, this does not eliminate the possibility of Dexit occurring, as the AfD continues to push for more mobilizations in the country, especially as elections approach and the economic crisis deepens. With Germany being the only G7 nation to face a recession in 2023 and 2024, this situation could amplify the AfD's voice in the future with increased popular support. Still, it is important to note that even if the AfD were to gain the support of the German population and call for a referendum in favor of Dexit, Germany's membership in the European Union is protected by the country's national constitution, making any potential action to leave the European bloc unconstitutional. Therefore, the European Union and Germany are interconnected in many aspects, politically, socially, and especially economically, with the bloc inheriting many principles of the German financial system. Additionally, Germany has guaranteed much of the EU's fiscal and monetary stability for decades, both through its economic rigor and its stable monetary system. On the other hand, this relationship carries many challenges, most of which have been felt primarily by Germany, contributing to the rise of movements opposed to the country's continued membership in the European bloc. Consequently, if Germany and the European Union fail to align their policies, Germany's exit from the bloc could become increasingly likely in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you can, drop a comment below with the next topic you'd like to see on the channel. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks again for your support, and see you in the next video.